Well, my disciples, I think it's safe to say that your old sect leader here got his hands on the wisdom goo, because I told you so. I knew that this TBATE anime was going to be mid from the moment that I saw Studio ACAT take it over. And I know a lot of you wanted to hold out hope for this anime, but I think it's safe to say that my depression that I garnered when it got announced that Studio ACAT was doing the animation was just. I think it is safe to say now that we are not going to be seeing an adaptation that will outperform Mushoku Tensei and show the world just how good TBATE actually is and how it almost competes, or if not blows solo leveling out of the water, all thanks to a less than beautiful adaptation. And yes, Turtle Me, the creator of TBATE, endorsed Studio ACAT, saying that they were the studio for him. This is because the people in Studio ACAT have read TBATE and know what it's about and kind of have a genuine passion for the beginning after the end. But I really hate to say it, that passion just does not equal creating something good. And I think we were all showing that with this, I don't want to say god-awful first episode, but a first episode that you would expect from a generic Mushoku Tensei ripoff. You know, your average brain rot isekai that this story is truly not. Not to mention that this anime did not stay true to the manhwa, let alone the novel, at all. So let's look at everything that I noticed wrong with this anime, or at least infuriated me. And I do have to warn you that I will be heavily criticizing this anime, and that is because TBATE is the first manhwa that I ever read. It truly got my foot in the door into the world that I live in now. So it holds a very deep place in my heart, and seeing it be done like this just shatters my entire being. Now, for starters, I think it's safe to say that they're taking an anime-only adaptation route for this TBATE anime, picking and choosing and moving things around as they go. Because even just looking at the introduction, for example, they did not follow the manhwa, while the manhwa itself adds its own little spin on the novel. But now we have the anime that just kind of said, screw all of you, I'm not gonna follow the manhwa, I'm not gonna follow the novel, I'm gonna do my own thing and screw it all up. My disciples, when I tell you that witnessing the first introduction of this anime almost made me fall into key deviation, I'm not telling a single fib, because the beginning of the TBATE manhwa is honestly one of my favorite beginnings to a manhwa, because it shows the first person perspective of a man who had it all, closing his eyes for the last time only to fall into the embrace of death, where he is left questioning everything, only to move on in the blink of an eye like a proper king should. But no, instead of this beautiful moment of a king's journey finally coming to an end, we are instead given a super mid fight that they don't even animate properly. If you genuinely look at it, you see that they zoom in on King Gray as he's swinging his sword, so they do not have to animate the entire slash, followed by the blood spurting everywhere and a body on the ground. Everything about it is ridiculous. The speech blowing a city to smithereens. Everything at the beginning of this story is supposed to come when Arthur is crawling for the very first time, where we are shown a genuine feeling on just how difficult it was to get to this moment in time since his rebirth. But no, they instead choose to mismatch everything, and they even cut out the part where Arthur is admiring his adorableness in the mirror, talking about how he is gonna break so many ladies' hearts. It is honestly baffling to me that Turtle Me was fine with this for his adaptation. I don't know, maybe I am completely overreacting, but come on. Look at what they did to my boy King Gray. They gave him the good old Yamcha treatment, for goodness sake. So now we have two things that don't follow the material, the introduction and the crawling. And on to the next. There's so many. The moment that Arthur sees his mother using her healing powers is completely different. What actually happens is his dad throwing him in the air and spinning around with him, showing his love, albeit foolish love, to his one and only son. However, Arthur ends up banging his knee, and subsequently his mother ends up healing him. Instead of this stupid scene where you have Arthur's father, a man who was once a part of this rather well-known adventurers group, punching a rock, having pieces of rock go up above his head, and not realizing that, hey, the rocks are gonna come down. So they bang him in the head, and then the mother heals him. And yes, Arthur's father is kind of portrayed as foolish, but he's not that stupid. He understands how to protect his own body. like what are we doing here? And I mean, I guess if you really kind of stretch for it, this could have been changed due to child protection, I guess you would say. But it makes no sense because Arthur is a child for a majority of this story, and he does some things that a child should truly not be doing. So if you're gonna change something as minor as him banging his knee and getting his knee healed up, what are we gonna do about the slave traders that were looking to enslave Tessia? Are they just gonna change it all? Is the story just not gonna be TBATE at this point? Like, what's gonna go on? But this one plays into the next moment that is completely and utterly not true to the material, and it made me so upset watching it. And that is that the knowledge of augmenters and conjurers is pretty much just grazed over. But the fact that they grazed over this information isn't the most important part here. The most important part is that they took out the part where the book that Arthur is reading genuinely tells him what his mother is. A deviant. His mother is a deviant. People that stray off the path of the norm, with many deviants being either emitters or elemental deviants, while the highly sought after ones are the healing emitters. Well, his mother is a healer, so that means she's highly sought after, showing just how important of a character his mother truly is. Yet in the anime, they show that it's just some sort of intuition that she might be different from the rest. Oh my lord, it made me so upset when I saw that. My Tao heart, it truly cannot take this, my disciples. Honestly, this is just too much to bear, so I'll give you a positive I noticed, okay? You know the moment where Arthur's dad does his little thing of raising the rocks up in the air, and he turns around to Arthur like, look at how awesome I am. That was a part of the manhwa. That was well done. Good job. Too bad they messed up literally right after. Like, there's no part where his mom comes up to him and he's like, now watch what your dad can really do. Instead, she gets mad at him for destroying the yard. Which is then followed by Arthur's dad putting on some equipment and then doing the martial arts routine that was depicted in the anime. And during this, Arthur watches for a bit, smiles, and then turns to walk away, only to realize that he is just this tiny little 2-year-old. So he can't get down from the bench on his own, which brings a sense of humor to the story, showing how a king has been reduced to someone who can't get down from a bench on his own. And not only this, but a lot more scenes to come were all botched, overall eliminating the true personality of King Gray that we got to enjoy in the manhwa and the novel. And I'm not even going to get into the awkwardness that was felt when Art developed his monocore, and this weird little spin he does in the anime, and how when he comes out of his trance, the rest of the house is just falling on top of him. Spoiler alert, I guess not really a spoiler, none of that happens. Nothing falls on him from his house. Instead, when he comes out of his little meditation and his monocore develops, he notices a tree out in the world that he wasn't able to see before because he was inside of his house, leading him to believe that they got attacked or something because he didn't know that, things explode, I guess, when you develop your monocore. There was no debris that falls on top of him. There was no familial love in that sort of sense. It is just completely and utterly fabricated, and I don't know why. It's truly and utterly depressing to see a king get reduced to this state. And if you want to know my thoughts on the god-awful outro, I'll link my video to the shorts that I made here, so check that out. But I will say that the intro song is really good. Like, I genuinely enjoyed it. It was a very, very splendid tune, a very splendid melody, per se. But overall, this right here is a terrible adaptation if you're looking at it from the eyes of a reader as someone who just wants it to be exactly the same, just animated. They took their own little spin on things that I, for one, don't agree with, but maybe there's people out there that think that they're doing the right thing by mismatching things as they see fit. But honestly, almost every scene in this anime so far is wrong in one way or another, so realistically, it would take me way too long to go over everything. But trust me, this video would realistically never end if I did that, so we're not gonna do that. Now, if you feel the same pain as me, or hey, even if you enjoyed the anime, make sure to let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to become a disciple of the Cult of the Eternal Rack. And make sure to enter the secret realm through the Discord link to truly set foot into our sect. Now, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, sunrise, sunset, whatever time it is for you. I hope you have a great one because you deserve it. I love you all so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.